Welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast with your hosts, the Brothers Newland. Now, let's talk toys.
Hello, everybody. I am Michael.
I am Jonosaurus.
And I'm Andrew. And all right, I'm Andrew. Welcome to the Toy Rewind Podcast, your occasional podcast about retro and classic toys. Where this is just where three of us like to get together and talk about the ones from our childhood. This week, we're rewinding back to 1996, so it's really far back for this one. Back to 96, back before we were partying like it was 99. I guess it was after that, but actually before we partied, but after whatever. We're going to talk about Extreme Dinosaurs, which was released by Mattel in hopes to extend the Street Sharks line, basically. That's the way that I see these, because they were all kind of mixed together, right? So we're going to talk about those and probably talk some... It's been a little bit since we talked about Street Sharks, a whole 7 episodes. So we'll have to recap about our buddy Vin Diesel and how he helped with those probably, and then get into these dinosaurs. So this will be an interesting one, right? What do you guys think? Interesting?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of short, but
short. Yeah.
That's why I was trying to bring in other stuff so we can make it decently length.
You got to stretch this one out. So
no, I got a little. You got to set up the storyline, so I've got a little bit about the cartoon.
All right,
that helps describe what we're actually talking about. So,
well, before we can talk about that, John, why don't you talk about your thing?
All right, so social networks. This is where you can find us, guys, and communicate with us and everything. So check our websites over at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com, crossthestreamsmedia.com. If you're on Cross the Streams Media, you can always leave us a voicemail. You can email us at toyrewindpodcast@gmail.com. Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch is all Toy Rewind Pod. Facebook and YouTube is Toy Rewind Podcast. And then, of course, like always, if you'd like to play a little game while you're listening to us or watching us, if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, you can go to podcastbingo.com/Toy Rewind. Let us know if you get anything, a square at all, a bingo, a blackout, whatever. Just let us know.
Send them to us. We'll send you that. Oh, John sent me a bunch of pens. So I have pens. Wasn't even expecting those. Because John sent me a care package with some Batman stuff from him and Michael all the way from Texas. I forgot all about this comic book, John.
Yeah, I told you all I had. Michael got his too. So
yeah.
This is Detective Comics number 429 from November of 70. Where did I find it? 72. November of 1972. I love the way comic books used to list things like this. Like, this is the spine-tingling return of Batman's most fearsome foe, Man-Bat, over Vegas. So right off the bat, you got Man-Bat hanging out. This isn't in Gotham. This is in Vegas. So we've got that going on. And then you also have the master crime file of Jason Bard, the case of the loaded case.
The case of the loaded case.
Yeah, it sounds so funny. So thank you for sending that.
Don't thank me. Those are from Megan.
Well, but
them out of her. So, yeah, I took them out of what she got from her grandmother's house that was in this big old dill, and I pulled out because she's going to use them to redo some of our stuff and then plaster them on stuff, and I pulled out what I thought y'all would like first.
Yeah.
Before they got messed up.
I'm glad you don't have this one plastered. This one's very, very cool. I'm gonna have to read this one. Just Man-Bat over Vegas sounds fun.
Yeah. Now I got three of them from John or from Megan. So this is actually the one where I'm reading my Superman reading list. And this is actually the one where I stopped at when I got sidetracked and haven't read anymore. This is Man of Steel from November '94.
So did you have that one?
I do. Yeah, I've actually. That's the one. That's the last one I read. Now this one here is War Gods #1 from September of '91. I don't remember if I've got this or not. If this was part of my reading order or not. It may be. It's been a while since I read from 1991. But this one here is the older one, which doesn't have the cover.
Unfortunately,
it's missing the cover, but it is Superboy. Volume 24, number 190, Superman number 190, or Superboy 190 from September of 1972. So
September of 72. Wow.
The Mad Piper of Camp Bravo.
I didn't realize Superboy was around that long, that long ago.
He's been around for a long time too. So
those were just some I pulled out of her stuff before they got used for other stuff. So, but I figured y'all would enjoy those.
Thank you, Megan.
Homes.
Yeah,
thank you for letting John send those to us, because those are cool. Or send them to me and then just give them to Michael, because that's how things work. All right. Well, then with that, you guys ready to talk about some dinosaurs?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for it.
All right, let's rewind and get into it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I clicked the button, but then I clicked the wrong button, and so it didn't actually do anything. I clicked the wrong button on the mouse because I just wasn't looking down. Yeah, so.
And John's making noises trying to.
John's making noises. Yeah.
So. All right. So we're going to talk about teeth, jaws, muscles, and claws today. Extreme Dinosaurs. So Extreme Dinosaurs was a spinoff from Street Sharks, which we talked about a few weeks ago. This was originally introduced toward the end of the Street Sharks cartoon series, where they were, and we kind of talked about this in our Street Sharks episode, they were actually alien dinosaurs who came to Earth to fight alongside the Street Sharks, and they kind of took over. They kind of took over the show as Dino Avengers, is what they were originally called in the Street Sharks cartoon. So Street Sharks ended in 96. The cartoons ended in 96. I take that back. The spring of 97 is when it ended. So the fall of 97, it's the debut of the Extreme Dinosaurs cartoon, which they changed them from Dino Avengers to Extreme Dinosaurs. So it debuted September 1st, 97, and even though the characters were the same as the Street Sharks versions, their origin was completely different. So now they weren't from outer space. They were actually dinosaurs from the prehistoric era. And they were actually transformed into super warriors by an interdimensional criminal named Argor Zardock. So actually an alien came to Earth, landed on Earth back in dinosaur time, and he wanted to make his own army. So what he did was he transformed these dinosaurs into half humanoid, half dinosaur guys. So, but he did give them a pretty mind. He made them smart. He made them. He gave them all the stuff they needed to be warriors. But he gave them too much of a mind. So
isn't that how it always happens?
Yeah. So their conscience, they had too good of a conscience. So when he actually asked them to kill the people that were after him, his people, which were the Quadranians, was the name of his race. The other Quadranians were looking for him, and one of them found him, and he asked these guys to kill the good guys that were looking for him, and they kind of rebelled against him and says, "No, we're not doing that. We don't want to be bad like that." So they kind of rebelled against him. So then Argor ended up creating another group of warriors that would actually follow him. So he used velociraptors. And we know how velociraptors are always the bad guys in dinosaur shows. So he did that, and I guess they weren't as smart, so they did whatever he told them to do.
No, I just think they like to attack people and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
All right.
So after the velociraptors were trying to make the Earth a lot warmer so they can stick around a little bit longer, so they can be more comfortable and they can rule the Earth and all that. Well, one of them did something and it caused. I didn't watch the cartoon, but one of them started the actual event that killed off all the dinosaurs. So what they did was the Extreme Dinosaurs, they climbed into cryo chambers and did like the Transformers did. They fell asleep for millions of years, and then they were waking up in modern time, in today's time, or the 90s. It was more the 90s. And then at the last second, when they were, after they had got cryogetized, however you want to say that, the raptors ended up jumping in them as well, and so they got woke up in the 90s, and the velociraptors came out with them as well. So the rest of the show, I have the good guys, the Extreme Dinosaurs, chasing the velociraptors around the world to stop them from creating global warming and taking over the world. So that's pretty much what the whole premise of this series is. It lasted just one season. It had 52 episodes, which when we talked about Street Sharks only had 40 episodes, but there was 3 different seasons. So,
yeah, how did these even get more episodes? I wonder.
They ran on a day-by-day, daily. And so it ran from September 1st of 97 all the way to December 24th, 97. So
you had longer to run.
Yeah. So you had from the time when school started till when school went out for Christmas holiday is when he watched it every day. So that's the cartoon there. So the toy line was released before the cartoon. It released in 1996 because these figures were coming off of the Street Sharks cartoon. So they only had one series, and then there was a couple other segments, and then 2 vehicles that were in with this line. The figures had the same type dimensions as like the Street Sharks. They were 5 inches tall. They had it was like I said, they were humanoid type dinosaurs. They had a lot of they all had bigger heads, like Street Sharks.
Like really big heads.
Yeah, really big heads and large jaws, and then they have lots of teeth in their jaws, so it made them look all mean and menacing. And they all came with weapons and battle gear and stuff like that. So that's kind of the history of the where they originated and all that kind of stuff. So we'll kind of get into the figures real quick and talk about them for a few minutes. So Series 1 had 5 different figures. So you had the leader. Now these are, they are pretty scarce. They're hard to find. And there's not much information out there on each one. So we're just kind of going off what we find on box packaging and stuff like that to kind of give you an idea of what each figure has and what it does. So T-Bone is the leader of the Extreme Dinosaurs. He actually in Series 1, he's got a dual firing cannon, and then he's got a backpack type accessory that has some other stuff on there that looks like more weapons or whatever. If he needs anything, it's there. So
looks very spacey.
Yeah. Yeah, their weapons. Again, the Quadranians, the guy who created them, humanized them. He was an alien from this world,
Yeah.
an advanced world, and he gave them all these advanced weapons to have. So they have stuff that most people on Earth never even didn't know anything about. So that's what their weapons are. So so that's kind of all. He's he's a T-Rex. Of course, the leader is going to be T-Rex.
He's got bigger arms though.
Yeah, his arms.
Let's go ahead and mention that.
Yeah, his arms aren't little like a T-Rex.
Well, they're humanoids, so it kind of filled it out to give them,
Yeah.
They gave him some Arnold Schwarzenegger arms, and
Yeah, they all looked Arnold Schwarzenegger like body types. So, then so the next figure we have is Bullseye. It's Bullzeye is how you spell it. He's got a Z in there, and he is an aerial fighter. He's a pteranodon, not a pterodactyl, but a pteranodon. So which is kind of similar, but a little bit different. So he's got an all-weather tracking helmet, gravity wing bombs, retro fire gun, and an arrow missile as well that he shoots. So I guess he's got on his helmet is all-weather tracking helmet. So I guess if it rains or snows or sleets or whatever, he can still track in bad weather. So, but yeah, and then his wings are actually they when he's packaged, his wings aren't on him. They're kind of accessories that you kind of they snap into his back. But the little bombs he's got at the end of his wings have got they look more like grenades, I guess.
Yeah, they kind of look like, I don't know. Yeah, grenades like with little handheld things on them to hold them up.
Yeah.
Michael, do you know what the difference between a pteranodon and a pterodactyl is?
I used to know, but I don't remember, so I didn't look it up.
Okay.
So.
I was just wondering because I don't.
Okay. I think they're just two different flying dinosaurs. So I can't remember the difference between them.
If I'd have known that question was going to come up, I would have asked Jude.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You might yell at Jude real quick.
Yeah.
It'd take him too long to get down here.
Okay. Okay, so that is okay. So Bullseye is actually a little bit of information on him. He's the youngest member of the team. His high-flying pteranodon is responsible for aerial attacks. His extreme fight mode and dive bombing skills make him a fierce fighter. So it's a little bit information on. It's called a T file. On the back of the card has a little. No, it's like the GI Joe file cards and stuff you see on the back. It's got a T file, and it's just a little information. So that's what we got off of him. So the next one we have is Spike. He is a Triceratops. He is the martial arts master. So he's
Really?
Karate chopping Triceratops.
I wouldn't have thought to make the Triceratops karate master.
Well, he's also the chef on the cartoon. So
I mean, all right.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't have thought. Yeah, you know.
You're also going to make the plant eater the chef.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. Yeah, he's the plant eater of the group. So.
I mean, what he doesn't want to eat what the carnivores are going to eat.
No, he'll eat what? There's Stegs as well. He's part of the group, and he's a
shouldn't the Stegosaurus be the karate master?
No,
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So he's the martial arts master. He's got triple attack horns, steel plated armor backpack, hyper extending attack spikes, which attach to his arms, and they're actually longer spikes, and they've got a spring, so you can actually pull them back, and they whip back towards the figure you're attacking.
Cool.
And then because he doesn't have any guns or anything, it's just those that are spring loaded. Let's see, and then hot tempered, bull-headed Triceratops prefers to spike first and ask questions later. He's a martial arts master and quick strike specialist, is what his T-file says.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right, so let's move on to Stegs. So he's the weapon expert. He's a Stegosaurus, if you haven't figured out by his name. He's got a raptor shooting disc launcher, battle spiked armor, and super spiked tail. And he's part Stegosaurus and part scientist. This sarcastic giant is the smartest of the team. He's an expert marksman with the powerful weaponry he creates.
You said something like you missaid rapper a while ago, Michael.
Yeah, he's a raptor. Raptor shooting.
Yeah, but you missaid and you said rapper.
Oh,
and when I look at this, when I look at this figure, he looks like he's holding a boombox behind his ear, and he looks like a rapper. I was like,
yeah.
that's kind of.
But the nail's what shoots out.
Yeah. This is.
I thought it was funny because I know you misspoke, but also maybe he's a rapper.
Now, raptor shooting disc launcher. He's like the Donatello of the group, right?
That's why he's got purple on.
Yeah, he's got. I was about to say he's got purple armor and stuff. So, but yeah, and he's a green. He's got a greenish color, but he's got purple armor, and he's he's the smart scientist one.
I mean, last time I checked, Donatello's green too. He just has purple stuff on.
Yeah.
So it works. It's all the same thing.
And then the last figure of this series, series 1, which is the only series, you have Evil Hacks. So you have to have a bad guy in this. He is a deadly velociraptor. He has got razor vortex tail, titanium arm blades, steel talons, and he just looks ferocious.
This is exactly.
He looks like
he's a can opener.
Yeah. his accessories they attach to his arms, and they look like Swiss Army knives with everything sticking out on both arms. So,
he looks like a dinosaur version of the Mega Shredder.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Metal teeth, I assume. They look like they're silver too.
Yeah, his teeth are kind of a silver color. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I know you said talons were silver metal.
Yeah. So he's the deadliest member of the Velociraptor gang. This lethal battle machine is equipped with paralyzing arm blades and slashing leg spikes. So he's got spikes on his legs too. So he's just the evil dinosaur, Velociraptor. So that is the series 1. So it's 5 figures. We're gonna go through the War Paint series. Is like a little side thing on this series as well. It's pretty much recolors of T-Bone, Bullseye, Stegs, and Spike. So the 4 good guys. And they don't really come with accessories with these. They're just the figures. So there's T-Bone. He is actually green. And they have war paint painted on them.
Yeah, you can see it on his nose.
Yeah, you can see it. It comes down his nose. And then these actually come with a strip of stickers with other looking camouflage battle paint that you just stick onto them to kind of make them look like they're going into battle. So he's green, and the regular Series 1 is like a khaki color. So he's a different color.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there's your regular color if you're looking at on the YouTube video, and then green. And then there's
You described him well, khaki color.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we look at Bullseye, and he is more of a red color in here, whereas his normal color, it's kind of almost the same color, but it's not as shiny. Maybe he's a little bit darker brown. His regular color, his Series 1 version, and then he's more red in his war paint series.
A little more terracotta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his wings may be a little bit different too, the way he's got his wings set up.
They look very interesting.
Yeah. So the edges of the wings kind of fold out more than what he does on his normal version. But the sculpt, the mold itself is the same mold as far as the dinosaur himself. And now let's look at Stegs. We talked about Stegs a while ago. He's a green color. He's kind of a turquoise color here. And you see more of the war paint on his face. His eyes are blacked out around his eyes.
Wait. You said Stegs, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're looking at
Steg? Yeah, I've got the wrong one.
Oh, you're looking at the wrong one.
Stegs.
There's Stegs. Stegs is like a pinkish color, I guess, and he's green. His normal color is green. So yeah. And you can see all his war paint painted on him as well. And then you've got stickers to add as well on top of that. So Spike, yeah, we were just looking at Spikes. We had that backwards. So Spike is the turquoise color. He's got the blacked out eyes around his eyes and the paint running down his face and his around the back of his crown part, that whatever that's called, around the back of a Triceratops head.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So, and then he comes with stickers as well to add to that. You kind of stick them on his arms and his legs, I think, is where the stickers are supposed to go.
Yeah.
So he's a turquoise color, and his normal color is it is like a dark green color, or dark greenish gray color.
Yeah,
it's normal color.
Yeah.
So that's your 4 war paint series, guys. Like I said, they don't come with accessories except for the stickers, and that's it. So
These I kind of like the war paint. Like, I don't know, if they would have taken that and put it on the originals, I think they would have been just a little cool paint job for them.
Yeah. And with them being the same molds, you can take the weapons and the accessories from the regular series and put them on these guys too.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So the next series is the Dino Vision series. Now these are it's got more of a gimmick on this line. They have a battle scope that you can actually look through, and then you can kind of target your weapons and stuff with that battle scope. They have. So we're looking at Big Bite T-Bone. Be the first one. Now these sculpts are different than the original sculpts. They're completely different. T-Bone here, the scope that you're looking through is on the back of his neck, and you can actually see through his mouth when you look through it. You can see where he's about to bite. So it's kind of
it's like right here is what you're looking through.
Yeah, you're looking through the back of his throat to out his mouth is what you're looking at.
That's not weird at all.
No, it's not. And he's got some different armor on it. And like I said, these are different sculpts from the first series and the war paint series. He does have a gun that looks like some kind of little hammer thing is what it shoots at. Again, there wasn't much information on these guys, so it's kind of hard to to describe what they've got, but that's it. Let's see. You can see, like I said, you can see through his mouth. He's got crushing jaws. His jaw actually. So when you're looking through it, you can open and close his jaw, so it's like you're looking at him crushing people. So the next one we have is Missile Mouth Bullseye. So we're looking at Bullseye again. So he's got an enemy targeting sight and firing missile. So this one actually, and he has an extra set of claws that goes on his wrist for one of his hands. But this one, when you're looking through it, you're looking through the little scope from the back of his head, and it's over his eyes, and you can see the bullseye type scope at the on the front of it.
Yeah, right there.
So when you're looking through it, you can actually see like you're looking through an actual scope of a rifle or whatever. You can see that, and you're aiming, and the missile part thing is in his mouth. So I think it's the button on the back of him. When you press it, it shoots the missile out of his mouth. Now that weapon does come in and out, so you don't have to have it in his mouth all the time. So
that's just weird.
His mouth.
Yeah. So the next one we're talking about is Head Strike Spike. So we'll go back to Spike again. And he's got armor for his horns. It just covers his horns. Now this mold form, one of his horns is actually looks like it's been broken off, or kind of the tip of it.
All the horns are broken off.
Yeah.
The same horn on every single mold is broken off.
Oh, is it off the others as well?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice it on his regular one, but yeah, it is, isn't it? Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's his right above his right horn. Yeah. Okay.
Right here.
Yeah, I didn't notice that on the others. Okay. So he must have been broken off when he was in the cartoon series as well.
Where'd it go?
It went away, Johnny.
Yeah, his pictures went away. But he's got, like I said, he had armor that covers his horns. Is his attack head. He's got a raptor targeting scope. It's on his back, and you look through it. You can kind of see where you're butting his head. His head's attacking. So that's what that is. Now we come to a new figure because for some reason Dino Vision didn't have stegs in it. So I don't know why they didn't carry stegs in. But there is one named Hard Rock, and I think it's an Ankylosaurus. I think it's what
Let's see.
It's
an Ankylosaurus.
He is an Ankylosaurus,
Yeah.
and he is from. Okay, so this was the one that's kind of out of the series that they brought him in, but he's from an alternate reality inhabited by humanoid dinosaurs.
Okay, that's where this character comes from. Okay, I did read something about that for the cartoon series where there was one that showed up.
That's the cartoon series, but this is the only time he shows up with the figures.
And this is the only pictures. The pictures you have here, the only ones I've seen. I hadn't seen any in packaging. I hadn't seen any other pictures. It's just somebody took pictures of what they had and sent them in, and let you guys know that we got these pictures off of Figure Realm.
Yeah, I was about to
which
say.
is a big resource. So we want to thank Figure Realm for having that up, and we can kind of helps with our research on some of these.
This guy's interesting looking.
But yeah, he is. He doesn't have any weapons, from what I could tell from here.
Yeah.
From these pictures, except he's got his targeting scopes on top of his neck. That's kind of flat on top of his head and looks across the top of his head. He's got little things that come down and cover his eyes. So I don't know if it's more of like a targeting system that he's seeing, or whatever, some visors looking thing. But it's but yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, he's an Ankylosaurus. He is kind of a funny looking figure. His mouth isn't as big as the other dinosaurs. So I guess since he's from a different dimension, he didn't have to have a big as head as the others.
They
I don't think the Ankylosaurus
they all have some really, really white teeth though. So he does
Yeah.
fit in like that.
Well, they're good guys, so they don't eat people or kill people or anything. So I guess they don't have to. They eat a lot of vegetables.
They just eat a lot of vegetables.
Yeah, they eat a lot of
So
vegetables.
here's a couple of other pictures on this guy. I just happened to film across, but yeah,
The back of him kind of reminds me of Bowser.
yeah.
Yeah, he's like a.
You can see where
Bowser
the eye covers come up and down, so it's
yeah,
like,
they kind of
cool.
up and down. Yeah. So
but yeah, there's a Bowser shot.
he does look like the way he stands and stuff does look like looks like Bowser.
Maybe that's just how like animals that are made like that would stand if they stood.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, maybe Bowser.
Somebody did some research.
Source.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
all right, so that is Hard Rock, and again, I don't know why Stegs didn't get this. They just brought in this other character from.
They thought Stegs was not as cool.
I guess so. I don't know. And Stegs is I don't know why not, because this has got the targeting system's kind of a technological thing, and since he's the Donatello of the group, you figured he'd the one that would have one.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So then there's one more out of this group, Evil Bad Rap. Now this is actually the leader of the Velociraptor gang. He's got deadly slashing jaws and destroyer cannon. So he's got thermonuclear projectile, pivoting raptor cannon, terror twisting tail, arsenal backpack, and jaws of destruction.
Definitely Jaws of Destruction.
Yeah,
so
definitely some Jaws of Destruction going on there.
So what he's got on his that attached to his nose and his lower jaw are extra mechanical jaws that can crush, and that that does come on and off, so you can actually see his face, but but they're extra accessories that you put on, and and they're all they look like they're mechanical looking crushing jaws. And he's got this big old gun too that he shoots. He shoots.
It's like a rocket launcher.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a rocket launcher. Yeah, so a handheld rocket launcher.
I mean, they're dinosaurs, so that's fine.
Yeah. So that's the bad guy of this, and he doesn't have a targeting system. He's the only one that doesn't out of this Dino Visions line. So
right. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but he doesn't.
No, he doesn't have any kind of
targeting look system through his like mouth?
Others.
Interesting.
No.
I just assumed with the big mouth like that, that's where they were going with that. So.
Well, they added the big jaws to him, so I don't know.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Yeah. So that is all of that, and that's and there's one more. So that's all the 5-inch line, 5 inches figures. There's one large figure called Mega T-Bone, and he is 11. He's an 11-inch figure, and you twist his tail for jaw crunching action. And he's got a raptor capture weapon is what it is. So it's like a big claw thing that he uses to catch the bad guys with. But you move his tail and his jaw opens and shuts. This is, like I said, this is an 11-inch figure. This one's a pretty good size figure. He is harder to come by to find. So, but yeah, that's the only 11-inch figure there was. And then there's two more things in this line, and we'll be done. There's two vehicles. So you have the Bite Fighter, which is a dino attacked plane, and it's got the front of it has a jaw that has cannons in it. It fires missiles, and it's got missiles on the wings too that shoots. And your figure sits on top of it, and you fly around with it. And then there is the Dino Chopper, which is a battle cycle with actually comes with T-Bone. And he's a different colored he's like a purple color, I think, on him.
So is that the third color of T-Bone?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
the third. Yeah, he's kind of metallic green and purple color and blue.
Purple,
Yeah.
blues,
Yeah.
orange.
So he's a metallic colored guy. So this has fires 2 Raptor missiles. It's got some Raptor missiles, and then it pops battle wheelies. So I don't know if it's motorized. I think it has a motorized thing in it for the wheels, and it pops wheelies and shoots missiles.
That's
So,
cool.
Yeah,
I like battle wheelies.
could be wrong, but that's what it says. Pop battle wheelies, and that's the only. Like I said, the only thing about these is there was not hardly any information on this. So these are, and they're kind of hard to find. They're harder to find than Street Sharks.
Oh wow!
But if you go back and watch the cartoon series, it is a lot more organized than Street Sharks were. It has more of a storyline to it than Street Sharks, and Street Sharks were just cool, skateboard type guys that were roller skate. They got roller skates, but they're they talk with that surfer accent and stuff like that. So these guys, this cartoon series is more organized. It makes more sense, and so that's the plus size on the cartoon series. But as far as the toy line, this is harder to find than Street Sharks. And like I said, Street Sharks came out in '94, if I remember right. So they came out in '94, and they lasted 3 years. The Extreme Dinosaurs only lasted 1 year, and then that was it. So there was more stuff for Street Sharks. So yeah,
I think these are cool though.
Yeah,
I like how they go with the Street Sharks. You get the whole thing there. So
yeah.
Let's rank these real quick before we get into some other stuff. Michael, where do you rank these?
I'm just gonna put them. Let me just put them at number 9, right below Street Sharks.
Right below Street Sharks.
Yeah. And that's simply because there's like I said, Street Sharks. There's more to them. There's not as much to this line, so I just put it right there. But it all fits in together. That whole timeline. It's at the end of the Ninja Turtles type stuff right there, and it fits in with everything we've talked about. Bucky O'Hare and all those kind of lines like that. So yeah.
John,
I'm going to do the same thing Michael did. Just put them right below. So number 5. They were cool. I wish he's come out when I was 16, so I was probably a little bit out of playing with toys at that second.
Yeah.
Well, that's your fault, John. I'm right there with
in trucks and driving. And
well, I know. I'm right there with you guys. I'm putting mine at number 3, right underneath Street Sharks. Street Sharks for me really only went out by the fact that I actually had those. Past that, these actually look a little cooler to me. I don't know, and the dinosaur part of it. If you got more of the cartoon made more sense, but the figures themselves, I don't know, they look a little cooler than the Street Sharks to me. So
yeah.
So they win.
maybe
They win
we would've
the
had
Street Sharks dinosaur.
Vin Diesel with the puppet or something.
Maybe there would have been more of these.
Yeah, they didn't have the puppet aspect of it like Street Sharks did. Yeah.
Or Vin Diesel. They didn't have either one of them.
No.
So Vin Diesel's already, hanging out with family by this point. Finally.
Family. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so what else do you guys got on these? I think they're cool. I think they're pretty cool.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything else on this line. I mean, that was it.
John,
What?
you had anything on this?
He ain't
Anything?
got squat.
No, I ain't got squat.
Nothing. Okay. Well, then, with that, be sure you go over and check out crossthestreamsmedia.com or toyrewindpodcast.com. You get a whole volume of Toy Rewind podcast where we talk about all kinds of different toys. So go check those out. Follow our social medias. All the ones that John listed at the beginning of the show, or just go look up Toy Rewind podcast or Toy Rewind pod actually on most socials. If it doesn't look like there's three brothers doing it, it's not the right one. So be sure you also just follow us on those socials. We do a lot with that. We're going to start posting some more toys that we were talking about at the beginning of the episode. Before we started the episode, some of Michael's collection that he's got, those Hot Wheels, and really kind of see some of the classic stuff that he's got. So be sure you follow those. It's going to be awesome. I got nothing else on these Extreme Dinosaurs. So, no.
No.
All right. Let me find the button.
Button time.
I always lose it. Well, on behalf of the Brothers Newland at the Toy Rewind podcast, play on.
You've been listening to the Toy Rewind podcast. Follow and join in the conversations at toyrewindpodcast.com.